Have you ever wondered what Harry, Hermione, and all your favorite Hogwarts characters actually look like in the books? The films left out some surprising and sometimes shocking details, from Harry's bright green eyes to Snape's yellow, uneven teeth. The real descriptions might change how you picture them forever. In this video, we'll reveal the true book-accurate appearances of every major character, starting with the boy who lived himself, Harry Potter. Many fans agree he was a great choice. However, one important detail from the books didn't make it to the screen. In the books, Harry is described as having a round face, a thin frame, and striking green eyes, the exact shade he inherited from his mother, Lily. His jet black hair is perpetually messy, sticking up in the bag no matter what he does, and of course there's the lightning-shaped scar on his forehead. Daniel Radcliffe captured much of this look, but one key detail went missing: the green eyes. Radcliffe had an allergic reaction to the colored contact lenses, so the filmmakers kept his natural blue eyes. Another subtle difference is that Harry is often described as looking small and skinny for his age in the early years, a detail that fades in the films. But while his eyes may have changed on screen, the essence of the boy who lived remained intact, something that can't entirely be said for his best friend, Hermione Granger. Hermione Granger. Hermione's book description paints her as a girl with bushy, brown, untamable hair, large front teeth, and brown eyes. In the first few films, Emma Watson's hair came close to that wild, frizzy look, but her teeth, which are noticeably big in the books, were never shown. Hermione's appearance in the story evolves in Goblet of Fire, after Madame Pomfrey magically shrinks her teeth following a curse from Draco Malfoy. She's still recognizable Hermione, but with a significant less pronounced smile. The films also gave her a more conventionally pretty style earlier on, while in the books her transformation into someone noticed for her looks doesn't happen until the Yule Ball. The changes to her character's appearance might seem small, but they stand out when compared to the films, especially when you look at Ron. Ron Weasley. Ron is described in the books as tall and lanky, with bright red hair, freckles, blue eyes, and a long nose. Rupert Grint nailed the red hair and the height, but the freckles, one of Ron's most recognizable features, were barely visible in the films. In the books, Ron's gangly build and slightly awkward appearance fit perfectly with his comedic and down-to-earth personality. His blue eyes are also a constant detail in the novels, though they don't stand out as much in the films. Another difference is that book Ron's long nose gives him a distinct look among the Weasleys, which was softened for the movies. And while Ron's changes were mostly subtle, Draco Malfoy's film appearance stayed in some interesting ways. Draco Malfoy. In the books, Draco is described as a slender, pale boy with sleek, white blonde hair, cold gray eyes, and a sharp-pointed face. Tom Felton's portrayal captured much of his smirk and arrogance, but the film softened his facial structure, making him appear less angular than in the novels. The white in his hair is also a detail from the books that gives Draco a colder, more aristocratic presence than the warmer blonde tone we see on screen. Still, the essentials of his Slytherin heir look were intact, though when it comes to book accuracy, Luna Lovegood might take the crown. Luna Lovegood. Luna is depicted in the books with long, scraggly, dirty blonde hair, pale eyebrows, and protuberant, silvery eyes, an appearance that matches her dreamy, eccentric nature. Ivana Lynch's casting was widely praised for being spot on, not only in look, but in capturing Luna's ethereal demeanor. The main difference is that in the films, her hair is a bit neater and brighter than the messy, unkept texture described in the books. Still, she remains one of the most accurate portrayals in the series, something Neville Longbottom's early depiction had to work harder to achieve. Neville Longbottom. Book Neville is short, plump, and round-faced, with buck teeth and blonde hair. In the early films, Matthew Lewis wore false teeth, cheek padding, and even a fat suit to match the description, along with prosthetics behind his ears to give him a more awkward silhouette. Over time, as the actor grew and lost the added weight, Neville's look shifted away from the timid, pudgy boy in the books. While the transformation worked for his heroic arc, it means his appearance by the final film was far from his original description. Albus Dumbledore. Dumbledore's book description paints him as a tall, thin wizard with long silver hair and beard, half-moon spectacles, and bright blue eyes that twinkle with mischief and wisdom. Richard Harris brought a softer, grandfatherly feel, while Michael Gambon's portrayal was more energetic and intense. One detail that never quite matched in the films was the twinkling blue eyes, a constant in the books that gave Dumbledore an almost magical warmth. His robes in the novels are also more colorful and eccentric than the general muted costumes in the films. Still, both versions captured his presence, though few characters are as visually distinct in the books as Severus Snape. Severus Snape. In the books, Snape is a thin man with sallow skin, shoulder-length, greasy black hair, a large hooked nose, and penetrating black eyes. Alan Rickman embodied the role with precision, but one notable feature was left out: Snape's yellow, uneven teeth, which add to his intimidating, slightly unsettling appearance in the novels. His clothing in the books is described as long, flowing black robes that make him look like a large bat swooping through the dungeon corridors, a detail the films captured well. While Rickman's performance was nearly perfect, the omission of those imperfect teeth softens his visual impact, something Remus Lupin's portrayal didn't need to worry about for very different reasons. Remus Lupin. In the books, Lupin is in his mid-30s with a young but worn face, pale skin, and lines of worry that make him look older than he is. His hair is light brown and slightly graying, adding to his tired, weathered appearance. The films captured much of his gentle, reserved nature, but toned down the visible signs of wear and poverty described in the novels. In print, his shabby patched robes and a certain thinness from hard living are emphasized. While the portrayal stayed close to the source, the difference in visual detail is clear, and Sirius Black's case is even more striking. Sirius Black. Book Sirius is tall with long black hair, sometimes unkempt, a handsome face, and striking gray eyes. Even after his time in Azkaban, those eyes retain a fierce intensity. The films aged him further, showing more wear and tear than the books suggest, where his post-prison look is gaunt, but still carries echoes of his younger, dashing self. His younger days, full of confidence and charm, are barely glimpsed in the movies. The book's description of Sirius exudes a kind of rebellious elegance that only partly translates on screen. Bellatrix Lestrange. In the books, Bellatrix is tall, with long, thick, shining black hair, thin lips, heavily lidded dark eyes, and a strong jawline. Her appearance is both elegant and intimidating, a reflection of her pure-blood heritage and fanatical devotion to Voldemort. Helena Bonham Carter's performance brought her unhinged energy to life, and visually she was one of the most accurate portrayals in the series. The main difference lies in her on-screen wildness. In the novels, her elegance is more consistently present, a contrast to the complete physical transformation of Lord Voldemort. Lord Voldemort. Book Voldemort is described with chalk-white skin stretched over a skull-like face, snake-like slits for nostrils, red eyes with vertical pupils, and a thin skeletal frame. His hands are unnaturally long and thin, matching the predatory quality of his movements. While the film captures most of this terrifying look, they gave him pale, human-like eyes instead of the red, cat-like ones from the books. This change was made to allow Ralph Fiennes' performance to be more expressive and less distracting for audiences. Early concept art even considered making his mouth more snake-like, but it was deemed too frightening for younger viewers. Despite the altered eyes, Voldemort's on-screen design still conveyed menace, though the same can't be said for the softer, toned-down version of Dolores Umbridge. Dolores Umbridge. In the books, Umbridge is short and stout, with a wide mouth, pale, toad-like face, and a very flabby, squat build. She dresses in fluffy cardigans and bows favoring pink, which makes her unsettling cruelty stand out all the more. Imelda Staunton nailed the prim, smug expressions, but the film softened her more extreme physical traits. The toad-like features and extra weight are notably less pronounced. The result is a character whose appearance is less grotesque, but still exudes a suffocating presence. Her sweetness masking malice is as effective on screen as in print, but Mad-Eye Moody's physical description was another challenge entirely. Mad-Eye Moody. In the books, Alastar, Mad-Eye Moody is a heavy, scarred, burly man whose face looks as if it's been roughly carved from wood. He's missing a chunk from his nose, and his magical eye, vivid and electric blue, constantly moves independently, even through the back of his head. The films captured the mechanical eye's unsettling motion, but toned down the extreme scarring and missing nose, likely to keep him from appearing too frightening for younger audiences. His patched, rugged clothing matched the books well, though. Still, Moody's look was difficult to fully realize, and Horace Slughorn's portrayal faced a different kind of challenge. Horace Slughorn. Slughorn is described as a very fat man with a large belly and a distinctive walrus-like mustache. His face is round with a genial smile that hides his shrewdness in collecting influential students. In the films, Jim Broadbent matched the genial manner but lacked the mustache entirely, one of Slughorn's most recognizable physical traits from the books. His wardrobe in the movies leaned toward comfort and eccentricity, which aligned well with the source material. Overall, he remained recognizable.